Ooh, so look what just showed up. Wonder what it could be. So it's my Lumberjack PT 305 12-inch planer thicknesser. Ooh, happy days. Right, let's get this bad boy opened. So out of the box, these are all the parts. Mostly it looks like it's just the frame that's going to sit on the wheels that were attached, adjustable wheels. The extracting and safety hoods, I guess they'll be called. There's the bag there for the sawdust to go in. And I say out of the box, the actual planer is still in the box. So I think the best thing to do would be to put the base together. It is quite heavy. I could probably manage it on my own, but I'll probably get someone to give me a lift just in case. I don't want to damage it. So yeah, I'll crack on and start putting it together. So putting the four corners of the base together was really straightforward. It was 6 screws on the front, 6 screws on the back, Allen heads, and they all lined up really easy. So the front and rear feet assembly were a little bit more fiddlier to put into place than the actual main body, but once you got the first screw lined up, it wasn't that bad, to be honest. It was just they wanted to roll about on the counter. So then I spun it around and popped the rear wheels on. No dramas there. They lined up much easier than the front ones for some reason. I don't know why, but easy enough. Then fitted a bar that fits between the front and rear wheels, just a simple nut and bolt. This makes the mechanism lift up and down. Straightforward enough. So up until this point, all the screws I'd put in, I'd just put them up sort of semi-tight. So now I just locked everything down into place. So screwing the fence together was relatively straightforward once I'd looked at it for a few minutes, because the instructions, to be fair, aren't the best. Apparently Lumberjack are going to revise the instructions and do their own. It is quite obvious which part is the bottom of the fence though, because there's a slight half round cutout for the blade to go on the machine. Obviously if you put this up the wrong way round, first time you turn the machine on, you're likely to carve your own cutout. And for anyone who's not used that kind of lever before, you need to make sure that the Phillips head screw is loosened off as the lever pulls out, and then you turn it to adjust the nut. Now this little clip here is me speeded up 20 times trying to figure out how to put the extractor pipe onto the bag. It was just too tight and I absolutely couldn't get it on. Once you've removed the fence a few times, you realise that there's an optimum place for the two levers so that they don't interfere with each other. So the lever on the fence adjusts from 45 to 90 degrees, and the lever on the main body of the planer tightens the fence up and down. But once you've had it on and off a couple of times, you soon realise where the best place is to put the levers. So while I've been assembling the other stuff, I'd given the bag some thought, and I came up with the idea of turning the bag inside out, putting the connector and the Jubilee clip in and pushing them through that way, then turning the bag back round the right way. Happy days. Easy fix, saved what was likely me tearing the bag trying to do it the right way round. I had this part left over, no idea what it's for, it's not in the instructions. I'm guessing it's probably something to help change the blades, but at the moment I don't know. Next I attached the pipe to the extractor hood. That was easy enough, nothing much to think about there. And then just attached it straight to the machine. Now the machine won't work without the hood either connected to the top or the bottom. There's little lugs that obviously touch the micro switches, and if they're not engaged the machine won't work at all. The first time I connected the hood underneath to use the planer on the top, I expected the back lug of the hood to connect to something, but it just floats around in space, and it's just the two side lugs that connect to the table bed. So I've since started just lifting the thicknesser bed up and taking the weight of the hood, and this definitely seems to help to collect a few more of the loose chippings that were escaping. So time for my first go. I'm going to plane this piece of oak or joint depending on where you are in the world. I'll leave the sound on so you can get an idea of how noisy the machine is. So straight out of the box, the planer or jointer worked flawlessly. A few passes and I had a lovely silky smooth finish. So really pleased. So to switch it over to the thicknesser, and this is where things start to go wrong. So this is the lever that you need to engage to set the rollers up. So engage them, push a piece through. Obviously it's not catching the rollers yet, so I have to put it through myself. Give it a small adjustment. Now bearing in mind this is the first time I've ever used a jointer or thicknesser. So that one pulled through. So I'm thinking, oh happy days. Give it a slight turn. Push it in. Goes through. And it's literally taken off the merest hair. So another slight turn. Push it in and boom, stuck. Can't get it to go through at all anymore. So given that its maximum cut is 2mm on the thicknesser, and this is barely taking off, well it didn't take hardly anything off, just a couple of scrapes here and there along the surface. So after mucking around for a while, sticking loads of snipe marks all over the top, really making a real mess of it, pushing it through, dragging it out the other side, I rung up Lumberjack support. The guy was very friendly. He asked me to try a couple of things that I realised weren't going to work, but I thought I'd give him a go and ring him back. So he wanted me to make sure that the rollers were engaged, which obviously I knew that I had done. He told me to just lift the bed up with the wood in there. As soon as it catches the roller, it will just take it through. So I tried that. Again, no luck, just was getting stuck. So he then decided that it must need a new belt for the roller, so they were going to send me one out. Now, long story short, a few days later they sent me out a new belt, which I changed. I'll add a separate video showing how to change the belt. Was it any better? Well, yeah, it was a tiny bit better, but no, it was still getting stuck. And of the hundreds of YouTube videos I must have watched where people are pushing timber through all kinds of thicknesses, including small benchtop ones where the wood's just flying through, I was just thinking, no, this machine must be duff and it needs to go back. So Lumberjack were very happy to have it returned. That night I went and watched a few more videos, and I stumbled across a video which I hadn't seen before from a YouTube channel called The Natural Workshop. Now this is, I watched his original review of this planer thicknesser, which was one of the reasons that I decided to get it, because his review seemed to be exactly what I needed. But he had a video where people were having trouble putting it through, the rollers weren't pulling it through, and he'd actually changed the belt and hadn't made that much difference. And then he'd cleaned the bed with acetone, or nail varnish remover I believe it is, and waxed it with some machine wax. So this is what I did. I cleaned the bed up all nice and shiny, put some machine wax on it, and boom, works a charm. So it must have just been friction, I guess, so much friction that it just wouldn't budge. It was almost like it was hitting a wall. So a big thank you to the Natural Workshop video for pointing out that it needs to be cleaned, and I've since cleaned the beds of all my tools now, and I'm going to do so regularly. So I'll just show you now how quickly it takes to change from the planer to the thicknesser. Now this clip is actually 43 seconds long, so less than a minute to change. So before I give a brief overview of the machine, please remember, if you like this video or found it useful in any way, please show me some loving by hitting that like button and subscribe. So let's just take a little look around. There's a little overview. So this handle obviously adjusts thickness of bed. This lever here, push it in to engage the rollers, pull it out, disengages the roller. And two rollers are up in there, one before and one behind the blade. You're meant to leave this out when you're using the jointer or the planer on the top, depending where you're from. This lever here on the bottom, so pull it around, move it about, lovely, drop it down, solid. Love that. One of the main features that I really liked about this was the wheels. So coming around the side, this is obviously where the extractor all comes out into this bag here, which is half full now. A nice little touch, Allen keys and spanner, everything you need to work on it. I mean, they're not the best in the world, but handy to have there. Really good little touch, I think. So coming around the back, not too much to see. That's where the extractor hose goes. It just sits there, very easy to change. Takes no time at all, just a few minutes. Coming round, so as you can see, this is for the planer on the top, or jointer, depending where you're from. So it's set to 0. So this handle here, I'll turn it, and as you can see, starts to just lower the bed there. So that would be a mil. Again, it's just literally that handle. Nice and simple. Fence. Really pleased with the fence. Nice and straight. I've set it once for level. Every time I take it on and off, I've been checking it, and not level, 90 degrees, and yeah, it's been perfect every time. So that's happy days. I definitely need to get some trowel things, whatever you call them, push trowels. That would be a definite. So I'm not this thing here seems a bit of a pain, to be honest. I don't know if I'll use that. So that goes in there, covers the blade. This little lever here adjusts it up and down. But again, not really sure that I'd use that. So there's your on and off, and your safety off. There's the hose there that takes all the chip-ins. So this lever here, pull it out, lift it. So I won't do it with the fence on, but that just lifts that up. Nice and simple. So a couple of things I don't like. It seems odd to me why the lead and the extraction are all on the side that you're going to work on. So yeah, I don't really see the sense in that. I'm sure the lead, this not so bad, but the lead, why that couldn't have come out the other side, I don't know. Apart from that, I had a few little teething problems with getting it to go through the thicknesser. A little bit of wax on the bottom of the plate there. Wow, what a difference. So that's the first thing you need to do, really, is wax the plate. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.